You ever see something so out of place it freezes time? That's what happened on a dusty Arizona road when two cops pulled over an old man riding a weather-beaten motorcycle. Just a busted tail light, they thought. But within minutes, the horizon changed. 50 soldiers rolled in, boots pounding gravel, led by a captain who didn't say much, until he said just enough to stop the world. And right there, in the silence, the truth came out. This wasn't just an old man. This was someone the military hadn't forgotten, even if the rest of us had. It started like any routine stop. The sun hung low, casting long shadows over the highway. A 1962 Triumph Bonneville rumbled to a halt. The rider sat upright, weathered still, hands steady. No panic, no argument, just calm acceptance. The officers stepped out. Britton, the older one, tried to keep it light. "Evening, sir," he said. "Mind stepping off for a minute?" The old man removed his helmet, slow and deliberate. His hair was white, buzzed short, a deep scar under one eye, eyes even deeper. "Something wrong?" he asked. His voice wasn't defensive, just steady, like a man with nothing to prove. One officer checked the rear, vintage military plates, a faded duffel, and an old patch on the jacket. 1-0 1st Airborne. The younger cop, Leary, asked if he'd served. "Long time ago," the man said. "How long?" "Long enough." They ran his ID. No warrants, no tickets. Clean. Too clean. But in the system was an old marker. Military clearance, top tier. Not flagged, just strange. The kind of thing you don't expect to see unless you're looking at a ghost. Britton scratched his head. "This guy's something," he muttered. Then, almost like instinct, he called it in, just to be sure. The dispatch operator paused when she heard the name. "Hang on," she said. Clicked some keys. Then silence. Britton stared at the screen. The officer at the bike kept chatting, but the old man was barely listening now. He was looking past them, out toward the desert. "They're coming," he said, so quietly it barely registered. "Who's coming?" the officer asked. "You'll see," he answered. And just like that, the ground began to hum. Barely at first, like the world itself was waking up. But it wasn't the wind. It was something else. And it was coming fast. A low tremble rolled through the soles of their boots. The officers turned. In the far distance, dust rose. A line of vehicles. Britton backed toward the cruiser, hand near his belt. Leary looked at the old man. "You expecting company?" The man smiled faintly. "Not expecting. Just waiting." 3 Humvees hit the pavement first. Camouflage, silent, professional. Behind them, 2 massive transports. Soldiers stood tall in the backs, full gear, eyes forward. The last vehicle was black, unmarked, and led the charge like a vanguard. It stopped directly behind the cruiser. The door opened. A man stepped out. Uniform crisp, movement precise. Captain Ramirez. His boots clicked as he walked. No hesitation, no wasted steps. He walked right past the officers like they weren't there. Stopped in front of the old man. They stared at each other. Ramirez said, "Sir." The old man answered, "Eli." The officers blinked. "You know him?" Leary asked. Ramirez turned. "Gentlemen, thank you for doing your job. But this man is the reason I exist." He told the story then. Laos, 1972. A covert mission gone wrong. 23 men trapped behind enemy lines. And one man, this man, who walked them out through fire. "That man saved my father's life," Ramirez said. Silence fell like a blanket. Then motion. Ramirez raised his hand. 50 soldiers stepped off the transports, forming a clean, solemn line. Their boots struck the gravel like thunder in rhythm. One soldier, young, barely 20, approached holding a folded flag. He stopped in front of the old man, arms extended. The man took it, slow, reverent. Not as a trophy, as a burden he'd carried for too long. His eyes flicked down at the stars on the cloth. And in that moment, all the years he hadn't spoken about came roaring back. 50 rifles rose, not in attack, but in salute. Across the road, a small crowd had gathered, and from that crowd, a woman stepped forward. She looked like she had something old in her heart. "Mr. Granger?" she called. He turned slowly. "I think you knew my brother," she said. "Alan Forrester, Navy pilot. 1971. She held out a slip of paper. They told us he was lost, presumed dead. But someone marked the trees. Someone made sure his body was found. She paused. Was that you? Walter Granger didn't speak, just nodded. And when she hugged him, he didn't pull away. Some moments don't need permission. They just arrive. Meanwhile, the dash cam never stopped rolling. By nightfall, the footage had been uploaded. A few clicks, a short clip. Then the internet did what it does. By morning, it had hundreds of thousands of views, hashtags, edits, music overlays, people crying in their cars. By the end of the week, the old man on the motorcycle had become something else, a symbol. He didn't care. Still went to the same diner. Still worked on old bikes. But when kids started showing up asking if he could teach them, he didn't say no. He just handed them a wrench and said, "Start learning." Sometimes life doesn't give you a parade. Sometimes it gives you a moment on a roadside, a salute you never asked for, and the echo of boots and gravel that remind you someone remembered. Walter Granger didn't ask to be honored. He didn't want the spotlight. He wanted the ride. But when that convoy rolled in, something changed. Not in him, but in us. We saw what quiet legacy looks like. Not loud, not proud, just true. The kind that holds steady under weight and rides off without looking back. Because that's the way men like him were always built.